Well, the Niners lose again in the Super Bowl, but what effect does this have on Kyle Shanahan? We'll have to find out next season. But what's going on, guys? My name is Antonio, and this is the AAS All Around Sports. I am your host, Antonio. Today, we are going over the 49ers situation in San Fran after the Niners lose in the Super Bowl again. But, oh my goodness, the Niners looked like the team of destiny throughout majority of the season, but couldn't pull it off in the end yet again. But that's not the only thing. Kyle Shanahan is now 0-3 in the Super Bowl when leading by double digits and also along with all-time in the Super Bowl of his career. But the question is, if the Niners do not win the Super Bowl next year, should they fire Kyle Shanahan? I'm going to be going over reasons why they should or shouldn't. I'm going to be going over what they need to do to get back there, and then also along with the tasks that lie ahead of them in the upcoming season. But first, before we get started, as you can probably tell, I'm a Seahawks fan. Now, I have respect for the Niners. I know I picked the Chiefs, but I was rooting for them because I wanted their drought to end. Now, if you're a Niners fan, you're probably thinking I'm crazy. I'm not, because I got so much respect for the Niners faithful. And the fact is that they have had just a painful last 29 years. I mean, I want them to win one day, but it's going to happen at some point. We just don't know when. But now let's get this thing started. So, I honestly think they should fire him if they can't get back there. Or if they do get back there and choke a 10-point lead again, without a doubt I think they should fire him because of these reasons. Number one, he has shown that he can prove in the regular season and in the postseason, just not the Super Bowl. That's number one. Number two, you had the most skilled unit this year. I mean, how do you not win that, huh? I mean, you were basically but the best team in the National Football League until the Super Bowl hit, where you were going against the Kansas City Chiefs, who I know they show up in the playoff time, but they sucked most of the year last year in the regular season. And here's the thing I cannot stand. You got Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, who's maybe potentially going to get traded, who knows, and then also along with George Kittle and also others in company. And then you also got, along with the defense, that is leveled all around. And you somehow cannot bring that back? You had the best possible chance you could have had. And now you're in a situation that you've been 2 times in the last few years. The first time you were the Super Bowl runner-up, you went to the NFC Championship game in 2014 to eventually get beat in the last second to the Seattle Seahawks in as we all know, the famous post-game interview by Richard Sherman. And then also in 2019, after that season, when they also lost to the Chiefs. They went to have a losing season, not make the playoffs, and ultimately give the division to the Seahawks. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen this time. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is you've had the chances. You have had the talent. And you went into this game with no excuses. You went in there with no excuse to lose. You were talking about Purdy. If Purdy wasn't injured, we probably would have won the Super Bowl. Well, it didn't look like that to me. Now, I respect Brock Purdy because he ultimately did not lose that game. Haters are going to try to hate on that. I'm actually coming to his defense on that. He didn't lose that game. It was the defense. Because the defense, they have been so good all season long. And you gift up that Super Bowl to the Chiefs. Now, I get they're a dynasty up and rising. But their receiver core was not that good. I mean, McCole Hardman, Marcus Valdez-Scantling, you got also along with Rashee Rice, who is a rookie, and then also along with other guys that I can't even name, including Kelsey. But you had the best possible chance you could have had, and you gave it up. And now you got to worry about other teams rising in the division, because we know being a Super Bowl runner-up isn't your strong suit from the last 2 times you were the runner-up. I mean, sure, you've made 2 consecutive NFC Championship games. Sure, you've made 3, sure, you made 3 NFC Championship appearances, 2 in the last 3 years, to the Rams, and then the Eagles, which you both lost those. And then you won this one against the Lions. And then, not only that, you've been to the Super Bowl 3 times in the last 29 years. And the Seahawks have also been there 3 times in the last 2 years, in the 29 years. Do you know what the only difference is? The Seahawks were actually able to finish the job. The Niners so far haven't. They have not been able to finish the job. You had a 10-point lead against the Chiefs. You had a 10-point lead, like you've seen Kyle Shanahan have in the last few games, and you couldn't even come back with that. I mean, I'm not throwing any shade at the Niners at all. They played a hell of a game. But how do you lose when you had by far the best team you have had on record? You had the receivers. You had the running backs. You had the tight ends. You had the defense to do it. And for some reason, you couldn't. I don't know. It looks like a curse to me. Just from another Niner fan I've talked to for one-on-one with, he says that they're straight up cursed. I'm starting to believe that. And he's a diehard Niners fan. And here's the thing. The Niners have been so good with Montana and Steve Young. But Purdy ain't any of those guys. I mean, I give him tons of respect because he did not lose that game. But when you had the best team, the best roster in the National Football League, you cannot lose to Patrick Mahomes. And you were beating down teams. You swept the Seahawks twice in the last 2 years. And they actually swept you 2 years ago, the Seahawks, which was back in when Russell Wilson was there. But my point being, the Niners need to change their act. Because if you're going to have the best roster on record and just miss the play, and you just give up the Super Bowl in overtime, that is unexcusable. That is unexcusable. Now, sure, the Niners will win one day, but they cannot have the best roster in the National Football League and not come home with it. You better. And their defensive coordinator just got fired. So, if you guys have a losing season and don't make the playoffs, blame whoever fired him, which I'm pretty sure was Kyle Shanahan. And if it is, and they can't make the playoffs next season or win a Super Bowl, he's out of there. Period. Alright, that's my topic for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to hit that like button down below. Subscribe if you're new. Turn on the notification bell for day-to-day updates on my videos and live streams. And I'll catch you all in the next one. So long for now.